Holly Cotton here. And first, let me give you guys a disclaimer. This is an adult show, and we're going to be talking about some adult business. So if you're not an adult or you don't have a place to listen to adult stuff, this is not the show for you. So I am joined today by Nikk, who is Instagram handle Erotic Boudoir. You guys might also know her as the everyone's favorite dildo dealer. So as you can see, that is where today's show is going to go. So welcome, Nikk, to the show.
Hi, thank you so much, Holly, for having me.
Love it, love it, love it. Okay, so first, what I wanted to just say, because I know that you guys are like, okay, where is this going and what is going on with this episode? I wanted to just highlight the reason why I think that episodes and shows like this are so important. One, I think that women a lot of times maybe don't feel comfortable talking about these things. A lot of times they may not feel comfortable asking the questions, but they do listen. And I think that having a good sex life, whether you're in a relationship or single, even more when you're single, because you got to figure it out on your own when you're single. But I think that that's very important to overall wellness. So these topics are really fun. We can laugh and we can talk about it, but at the same time, it's also part of you and your overall wellness. So before you start saying that we having this is raunchy conversation, this is part to keep everyone together. And we are actually going to talk about things for men and women. So again, thank you, Nikk. First question is, can you tell us how this became your career choice or one of your career choices?
Well, that's a really good question. Erotic Boudoir was started by my mom. And I joined a year later because she, kind of felt she had a little bit of difficulty marketing and going out to see the peoples and all of those good things. But I grew up in a household where talking about sex, talking about masturbation, talking about learning, parts of your body was never a taboo subject in my household. So that's essentially how it was started. And being that I was always empowered to explore, from my parents, nonetheless, it's been life-changing, and I love it.
That is such a unique, I was not expecting you to say that your mom had it, but I do think that that's so important because my daughter is still 17, so we don't really have those conversations yet in life. But I've always had just an open conversation, an open platform, because I want my kids to be comfortable in knowing that it is normal to have sex. And if you can't talk to your partner about certain things, that ain't the partner you need to be with. So I love that mom was like, listen, we about to get our groove on in this house. Okay, so let's keep it moving. I love that. I love that. So first, I want to know, what are some of the common questions? Because we're going to do men and women. So don't worry, men that are listening. But can you give us some of the common questions that women ask you about?
Typically, the ladies ask, how do I talk to my partner about bringing sex toys in the bedroom? Because ladies, we've all experienced the men that are like, I'm enough, you don't need that, I don't. So it's always, how do I, to have the conversation? And then the follow-up is always, what's the best toy to bring into the bedroom after I've had this conversation with my partner?
And so, one, I definitely want to sidebar on that, because as Nikk and I were talking about before about why this show and shows like this are so important, is because I have friends at this age that don't even know if they've ever had an orgasm, or they don't know what it feels like, or they're like, I'm not really sexually satisfied, or I wish this happened. And I'm like, oh, well, what was the conversation? Oh my God, I would never talk about that. I'm not going to say that. And I'm like, what? Why not? So I'm so happy, Nikk, that you are getting everybody's mind together. Now, I want to know because, again, I come from the women's side. So I want to know what the men are asking about. Let us know about that.
Sure. The fellas, they kind of have somewhat of a same approach, but they also ask what toy is best for me. Like I'm interested in exploring with toys too. So what toy can my partner use? Can my lady use on me, or a toy that I can use by myself? And you know that's always fun, and it's wild because I've gotten more involved with men toys, because when you think of sex toys, you always think of vibrators or, ladies. That's only for the women. That's only for ladies. And there are thousands upon thousands of toys out there for men that are very, very effective. And, they have nice visuals to them too.
I'm scrolling on Nick's Instagram right now, you guys. So I'm like, yes, because here it is, right? Here's the one with the Tenga Flip Zero.
Yes.
So first, the guy's face when you were doing I guess you were on a live. And so it's so funny because Nikk is like, you guys, so I know it's audio and video. So if you guys are listening to the audio on the podcast network, I want to just give you a visual. So let me close my eyes. So Nikk has this egg-shaped thing with like these little, I don't know, it looked like a little alien on the inside with tentacles and stuff, and so she's just all like, yeah. So and now picture there's a gentleman that's on the other side of the split screen, and he's like got this real serious face, like he's like, I don't know or whatever, and she's like, yeah, see these right here, and she's like rubbing on the things, yeah, like this is like lips, and this is like this right here, the sensation, and then like the shaft goes here, and you put your lube on here, and the guy's face is like, he's like pulling his hat down, like he almost is like feeling a little uncomfortable, but he's looking because he's like, wait a minute, hold on, what? So first, tell us about that little product, and then like how that goes whenever you're explaining it to men.
It's so much fun because I don't think that men are typically used to a woman being so comfortable to name out the different parts of their penis, because it's not just the shaft and the head. There's so many more elements that you can stimulate their penis. There's so many different ways you can stimulate it. So it's to experience it. Well, let me rewind just a little bit. Before I actually put a lot of the male toys out there, and the lady toys too, it's important for me to actually use them. So anything that I promote, anything that I vouch for, I've used, my mom has used, my friends have used, and the male toys I've used on somebody, okay? So I'm able to actually provide real experiences and real education because I've seen it in action myself. That is so, so, so very important to me. And which is why I think a lot of people come to me because they're like, she's not going to promote anything that she hasn't used or experienced herself. So it's always fun to see the men cringe just a little bit, just a little bit. See him squirm just a little bit.
He was cringing, okay? Like he was like, the hat was like down, but then it was up.
Yes, and I think that particular video was a good friend of mine, and I was just trying to explain it to him because he has plenty of many toys from me that he hasn't used just yet, and I'm like, what you waiting for? I need your review, sir. You got to, provide the review. But he's a platonic friend, so I don't want to see his parts. But it's always fun to just educate the men with it and just let them know, because a lot of times they haven't explored the different parts of their penis either. So they don't know that this part can be stimulated or that part can be stimulated. And it's nothing more rewarding to me when they actually come back after they've spoken with me and they're like, yo, Nikk, that toy was everything. Girl, thank you. What you got? I'm ready for my next one, you know?
I love it. I love it. And right. And again, just like you said, like even women, I guess if you're not raised in that household where it's okay to talk about sex, it's okay to talk about things, and you kind of get reserved, because like I said, I do have friends that are very reserved, grew up even now as adults are still reserved with their parents. And it's like, your mama know you having sex, right? Like, you do have some children, like, she had to know it. But I think it's also, I'm glad that you're bringing that to our attention too, because I think that's also, as everything now is about men's mental health, and all, like, men weren't able to verbalize their feelings and all of this stuff. But I think that that's a big piece of the missing puzzle too, because they're just like, I need to go in and bam, 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 and if she's not having an orgasm, then it's me or whatever. So, and they may not be sexually satisfied as well. So I think that's great. Now, do you have a tip for men that are like, you know what? I'm thinking me and my boo need to bring me a toy in here. But women can also feel self-conscious, like, well, dang, what's wrong with me? Am I not lubricated enough? Is it not tight enough? What's going on? So how do you help the men? Because women, we're always like, hey, I need this vibrator. This is what you got to do. But for the men, that's uncharted territory. So give us some deets on how you tell for men, how you can tell your woman you want to bring a toy in.
I typically tell the fellas to make it a group project, right? So when you want to explore shopping for it and you go to a local store or you're online or anything like that, incorporate her. Why don't we buy some toys? Why don't we look at some couples toys? Because they do have couples toys that's able to be inside of your vagina, and the man can feel the vibration from the toy on his penis as well. So, make it a group project. Make it about us and less about yourself in that moment. You know what I mean? So you can provide double pleasure to everyone, because vibrators are interchangeable. If you have like a smaller, long bullet type vibe, you can use that on all your lady parts, your nipples, your clitoris, your vulva, every area. But you can also use that small vibrator on him. You can circle the head of his penis. You can rub it up and down his shaft. You can circle his testicles with it and everything. So vibrators are interchangeable in the bedroom. And what I typically try to tell women too, when you're looking at something, do not look at a toy that looks like another penis. They don't want to look at that. They don't want to see that right away, especially if this is your first toy. He doesn't want to see another penis go inside of you, but he does want to have fun. So don't ruin the moment by saying, you know what? That 10-inch girthy thing over there, we should try that. Knowing good and well.
Oh my God, I'm dying, Nikk. I'm dying.
Because doggone well, he's about a nice, sturdy 6 and slim, little pencil slim. Don't be going for the extra girth. Now, girl, just relax for a second. Just relax. It's okay.
That is excellent advice, Nikk. Excellent advice. And yeah, you're right. Cause like, they're like, well, hold on. You skipped through the first four pages and you went straight to Shaka Zulu in the back. Sorry, Shaka Khan. We meant Shaka Zulu. Okay, I love that. Now, I know I did see that you had something, and I know you go on like you've been on shows about this she-gasm. So that's like one of your best sellers. So tell us about that and why it is, because it looked like it was I thought it was like a praying mantis thing at first, but then after I started stalking it, I was like, You know what? Hold up. So tell us about the shegasm, or is that the name of it?
Which one? Show me a picture, because shegasm is like the line, and then they have different ones.
Okay, I'm looking. Hmm.
That's the sucky bunny. That's the,
That is the most appropriate name because for anyone that's listening, that's what it looks like. It's got bunny ears.
yes, that's the sucky bunny. That one is a great interchangeable one too, because the ears that you see are flexible and you can put nipples in between it. So you can put, your nipple or his nipple in between it. And you can also use the ears that vibrate to, again, stimulate all different parts. And then the little circle that you see pulsing provides suction. So you can put that suction on all the clitoris, the nipples, the wherever you want to put it, and you get that stimulation. So that's an interchangeable toy too. Now that one is not like the top seller. My biggest seller is the Satisfier Pro 2, which is a clitoral stimulation device, which is here. Okay, so this provides suction as well as vibration surrounding the entire bulb of the clitoris. This is rechargeable, it's waterproof, it is all the things. And usually, typically after most women use it, they have an orgasm in less than, I want to say, 5 minutes with using it. So this is the one, like, you want to get it out the way. You got some place to be. Like, I need to just, get one out real quick. This the one.
Okay, so let me ask you this. Like, have you ever, which I'm sure you have, but give us a story because I'm always intrigued about people's life stories. And one, I'm a nurse. Like, I've been a nurse forever. So talking about stuff for me is like so normal now. I'm just like, blah, blah, blah. And people are so uncomfortable. And I'm like, oh, I forgot. I'm sorry. It's the nurse in me. I'm sorry. So I'm sure it's the same thing for you because now you're so comfortable talking about it. But tell us a funny story or something where someone maybe just they were either shy or they were self-conscious or maybe they never had anything. Like, give us a success story so people can understand like how helpful having conversations like this are.
Sure. I had a young lady send me a DM, and she has a boyfriend, and she's like, Nikk, I want to, try toys, but he always is, anti-toy. He doesn't want to use, whatever. And I was like, all right, well, send him to me. Tell him to DM me. I don't want to talk to you. I want to talk to him because we need to have a conversation. Okay. So he did send me a DM and he was like, hey, my lady is so-and-so. She told me to hit you up. And I was like, all right, so help me understand why exactly you're anti-toy. Because I will never just recommend something because it's popular or trendy or, just the masses see it. That's kind of how the roads took off. Because it's so trendy. It is effective, but it's super trendy, And so him and I talked for a very long time, so much so that we had to video chat because it was just too much. It was too much text going back and forth. So he basically was saying that he was in a previous relationship and the girl kind of tricked him with the toy. And when I say tricked, she tried to penetrate him with the toy, so he kind of had PTSD from it and he had trust issues. So I said, okay, well, let's try here. So what I ultimately recommended for them was for him to get a vibrating penis ring, and that way he would feel the stimulation and she would feel the stimulation too, because she had mentioned also that being on top is one of her favorite positions. And when you have a vibrating penis ring, that's like the best because you're already there. You already get the make the list, Holly. When you like to be on top, it's constant.
My boo gonna be happy, okay? He like, yeah, babe, make them look. No, I'm kidding.
So, I recommended that. So I said, let me know how it goes, and I'm privileged to and honored for people to actually bring me into their bedrooms without bringing me into their bedroom. So I, said to them, let me know how it goes. Let me know how you felt. And, we could talk about things and maybe I could recommend something else if this is, doesn't work for you. And they tried it and they absolutely loved it. And he's like, okay, so what's next? What's the new toy that I could try? So it just opened the door, you know what I mean, with providing trust that he could trust his girl, knowing that she wasn't going to do anything, even though, he had that PTSD, and they took it slow. And I always tell people, take it slow. That fast rabbit nonsense that be happening in the bedroom where you pushing all the air and now I'm the queen. I don't need it. I don't want it.
You are so right. You are so right. But I'm glad you gave that advice as well, also about, the taking it slow, because I think that that's also just like how you went up to that point of where, unless you started where you having sex on the first day, no judgment, but I'm just saying, like, usually just like how you worked up to that, you have to continue to add levels to what it is. So I think that, yeah, once you have that trust established, and here's my whole perspective on that either. Quit screwing people that you don't trust. That's my biggest, like, why are, if I don't trust you enough to have a conversation with you, we shouldn't be having sex. What? I'm gonna leave it like that.
At all. At all. Because so many people are so quick to perform the act and haven't even discussed it to know what people's hard and soft limits are.
And I know you see that all the time. So yes. Okay. So one of the questions, this is my own personal thing since I got you right here. I don't care if the audience wants to know this or not. This for my own thing, because I'm just curious. So I know that there is a trend now of the vibrators that have suction on one end. And I'm confused of what the suction is for. So I need you to educate me, because, I try to get out there. I'm a little risque. I do, whatever. So I like to be educated, because when people ask me a question thinking I know everything, I'm like, that's one thing I don't know about. So I need you to inform me, Nikk, on what I'm doing with the suction. Where is this? Where am I? It's on the shower. It's on the floor. Where am I suctioning the suctioning?
So when you say suction, do you mean like a suction cup base or suction as the function?
No, the suction like one side has a.
The suction cup base is so that you can be hands free. So you can put the suction, if you have a table that's strong enough, a wood chair, floor, wall, any of those things, and you're alone, you don't have to worry about inserting a toy and like using your hand for it to go in and out, in and out. So if you have a cup based dildo, you could put it onto the wall, and essentially like you can have a doggy style position and be completely hands free to hold your hair up, to stimulate your own nipples, to stimulate your clitoris and things, and you still get the penetration that you're craving. So suction suction cup is like I like the suction cup. And not for nothing too, for a lot of people that have specific kinks and fetishes and fantasies, suction cup toys is a great way to somewhat stimulate a threesome. So if you have your guy in front of you and you're providing oral pleasures to him, and you have the suction cup base on a wall or a chair or whatever, you have that extra stimulation where all he's worried about, your partner is taking care of you in the front and everything is being taken care of in the back based on your needs too. So you're welcome.
Y'all know figured everything out. You. I love it though. Thank you. Keep sharing with us. But y'all don't figure every damn thing out. Okay, I love that. Okay, so one of the questions I had was about one of your videos, of course, like I said, and again, because you educating us, Nikk, you are you're Obi-Wan Kenobi now. Now, it was you on a podcast show, and you were talking about douching your butt, and I'm gonna tell you, in all my years as a nurse, I ain't never heard of no such thing or whatever. But when I was listening to you talk about it, it was the more I listened, the more it made sense. Because I know that that's always a key thing. I guess people have reservations because they don't want to maybe have double penetration, or some people maybe want to cross over to that anal part, but they're not ready to do it. So tell us, one, how you found that this was the way to go, why it's important, and how you recommend people if they want to implement that.
Sure, that was the other podcast. That, first off, that was a fun time, a very fun time, and I'm super open. Like another tagline. I put my coochie on social media every day for the name of science. Okay, so right. So for me, I enjoy anal sex, and having an anal orgasm is like, it's the creme de la creme for me. Okay, for me. But what I don't enjoy is the mess that comes with it when you're not prepared in that moment. So douching, anal douching, they have all different types of douches that you can connect to your shower head. There's some automated ones that spray out jets, and essentially you want to, at the very minimum, clean out the lower part of your intestines so that you don't have a bunch of mess. Because weird smells turn me off, and poop ain't sexy. Okay, so no judgment for the people that like scat play, but me.
Ain't sexy. I love it.
So, and not for nothing, I'm an ally to all communities, LGBTQIA plus community, and I have a ton of gay male friends. And when I wanted to explore having anal sex, like, I talked to them. Like, how do you guys prepare for this? It hurts, what type of lube, all the different things. And then you read books and so forth and so on. But for me, the best teacher will be experience every single time. Every single time. And then other people will have, their perspectives on it. Yes, I'm going to read the books and make sure I'm taking care of the anatomy. You don't want any rips or tears or anything like that. But to me, it's experience. So I've tried silicone-based lubes. I've tried hybrid lubes. I've tried water-based lubes. I've tried different size toys to warm me up. I've tried different size butt plugs to warm me up. And just, the preparedness and all of that, always to me, is just the cleanliness. It's so important just to be clean. And because I circling back too, I enjoy rimming men. You know what that is, right? Okay, so. But
I do. One of my girlfriends, actually, she was trying to start a business, and the acronym for her business was going to be RIM. And I was like, all I can think of is rimming. Like, you cannot have that as the name.
Oh, you can't. And not have a straight face. No. But I enjoy rimming men. So again, the smell and, those different things, it's super important to me that you have excellent hygiene. So I understand and want to provide that to whoever I'm with too, if I'm, requesting for anal sex, or if they're requesting anal sex. So that's how I pretty much got into it.
Well, we appreciate your expertise, because that was a lot of information that I had no idea about. I'm telling you, I was like scrolling and I'm like, this looks interesting. Oh, okay. I was not ready for that. So I love that. Now, I know I actually had a gynecologist a while back, and so we kind of talked about women's sexual health then, and she was giving us like some of the, like, she broke down different like warning things that you need to be looking for. She also broke down like the different levels of lubricants. So I know that you sell things, and I know that whenever you're talking about certain things like the men, the toys for men and stuff, I've heard you like say this is a such and such kind of lubricant or whatever. So can you just give us a little insight in that, maybe educate anyone that's listening? Like, listen, I ain't ready for a toy, but maybe I could start with a lube. So baby steps, work up to the level that you there. Like y'all may not be ready to go all the way to the anal douching yet. Like know your level.
Yes. So, ladies, I will say this too. So many ladies have been shamed to actually use lube. I get wet. My coochie is wet. I got that wop. No, 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 no. Okay? And especially for some of the ladies that have never experienced orgasms before, if you use lube, there is a greater chance that you will actually experience an orgasm through your vagina, a penetrative orgasm. So water-based lube is like the best for me because I'm very sensitive, and it's compatible with all toys. Every single toy, there's no issue. You won't have any sort of friction. If you're using lube and it gets a little dried up, all you got to do is put a couple drops of water back on yourself and it rehydrates itself. Okay, so you don't have to add more and more lube on top of it, right? When you're dealing with a silicone-based lube, they're not a lot of times compatible with other silicone toys because it creates friction with one another and it makes your toy break down, right? And that's if you have a silicone toy, a silicone or a elastomer or TPR, I'm sorry, type of toy. If you're using glass toys or metal toys, the silicone is completely fine. And silicone is actually better than water-based anally because it has more staying power and it doesn't get sticky where it causes you to like skip step, stutter step. You don't want that.
Learned that the hard way a few times. Messed up the whole groove. I'm like, this wasn't it.
Right. That silicone will dry out and then you got the stutter stepping and that's never a good thing. The hybrids are kind of hit or miss. So you have to, experiment the hybrids. They have silicone and water-based mixed into it. I'm not a huge fan of the hybrids, but I'm still exploring different brands. So I don't, for me, it's either one or the other. I'm not going 50-50. It's one or the other.
Okay, I love it. Thank you for breaking that down for us too, because I know, again, even if you aren't like I said, even if you aren't ready to use any type of I'm a nurse, so I always say assistive device. I don't know what the term is for the sexual health community, but if you're not ready for a device or an addition, at least maybe have something in place where you can, like you said, because I think it's so much pressure on just us as women. You may be ready or you may be into the person, and then it may just not be that day where you have WAP. It might be you had a stressful day and now you need some work and it's just whatever. Like, I'm not ready to get, I feel WAP, but WAP ain't feeling me today.
Exactly. And a lot of key elements with your diet too. We all like sugar, we all like candy, but if you're overindulging in those things, it can affect the wetness of your vagina as well. So never be afraid or ashamed to ask for lube, and don't let nobody tell you that, no, you don't need lube. I'm just going to spit on it. Get the lube. Get the lube. Don't you spit on my coochie. Get the lube.
I'm a big don't spit on me either. One, I'm like, how many germs are in your saliva? I work too hard to keep my pH where it needs to be. Do not. Oh my God. I love it. I love it. Okay. So Nikk, can you tell us, you guys, I have to get Nikk to come back. I know. You guys are like, no, I have so many more questions. So DM me any questions. So when Nikk, we can get her back when we get another list of some more questions. But can you tell us about, like I said earlier, this is your business, Erotic Boudoir. So tell us about your business, like projects that you're doing, or how, I know you have like events that you do as well. So for anyone that's trying to get connected with you some kind of way and buy products, how they can do that. And also, if you have any of your best sellers that you want to like shout out, like, hey, and let me tell y'all this right here and why it is, like, give us some knowledge before we let you off of this call.
Sure. Where can I start? 2023 is going to be an exciting year. Not only do I am the sole proprietor now of Erotic Boudoir. My mom had to step away from the business due to health issues. But I also work with other sex toy brands. I work with sex toy vitamin companies. They have asked me to create influence videos and things like that for them and create all types of promotional things. So they see the value in how I do what I do, although we all do the same thing. But 2023, I have some lifestyle pieces that are being edited right now. I am a lingerie model, so I have some pictures that are being edited right now as well. I host kink and fetish events all around the United States. I'm headed to Amsterdam next month to explore some more just in the sex industry overseas, because I want to bring some of those things back here, because I know it's some sort of aesthetic that we haven't quite tapped into just yet. And I want to elevate the brand. I want to elevate your awareness. And I want people, especially people of color, knowing that these spaces are out there and available for you too. I host different swingers and lifestyle events, LGBTQIA plus events. I'm currently working right now with a trans activist, sourcing toys for the trans community so they feel more comfortable with using toys, because a lot of times, the trans women, they don't necessarily want something pink or blue, the color issue, right? So there's so many different things that I'm doing, but the best way to, find all of that out, Instagram is erotic_boudoir, BOUDOIR. The backup is erotic boudoir _. We have two websites. One is erotic-boudoir.com and the other is touchingbodymindsandsoul.com. And all of those links are in my Linktree bio on Instagram.
Okay, I love that. I love that. And you guys, I will have all of that information in the podcast notes, as well as I'll have her tags on all the social media sites that I post on as well. And so if anyone is listening and they're like, you know what? I'm feeling like wifey needs something for Christmas. Santa Claus needs to bring wifey something, because I know if I give her something, she gonna give me something. So what is something that you would say that for someone that's saying, hey, I would just want a quick gift for my wife or a stocking stuff? What's one of the items that you sell that you think would be great for like anyone, no matter where they are in their relationship, that would be a good gift for their significant other?
I would definitely say the rose is an excellent stocking stuffer. It's pretty compact. It's cute. They come in pink and red. Some people have them in different colors, but I don't know the makers of those. So I don't trust those particularly. But the rose is a good toy. And for the fellers, like a vibrating penis ring, how we said before, that's an excellent stocking stuffer for, beginners. Handcuffs, soft handcuffs, PTSD. Soft handcuffs, a cute lace blindfold, a short little, leather crop, some lingerie or things like that. Those are excellent stocking stuffers. And I'm sorry, I didn't answer the other part of the question of what's one of the favorites. The Satisfier. The Satisfier is the go-to. Like, tried and true. This toy has been on the market for so... This is the Pro 2, by the way, Satisfier Pro 2. So it's rechargeable, like I said, it's completely waterproof, and it packs a lot of punch, and it's super effective. And this is something that can be interchangeable too for men. You can put it on nipples, you can put it on the head, the shaft, balls, all of those different things. You could do all of those things. So those would be like great stocking stuffers.
Okay, so you guys heard, I'm just telling you, like, baby girl might not need another pair of socks this year. You might need to step it up a little bit, fellas, a little bit. I love it. I love it. Okay, so you guys, again, that's Nikk Erotic Boudoir, aka everyone's favorite dildo dealer. I will have all of her information. And again, just Nikk, thank you so much for telling us. And also, like we said at the beginning of the show, it's fun to talk about these topics, but it's also a part of reality. It's part of real life. It's part of your wellness. And I think a lot of, especially women, as we get older, we kind of feel like, hey, I've been with this person for 20 years now, like, this is how it is. It's never going to change. Like, this might be the show you need to listen to be like, babe. Actually, I was listening to Holly Cotton and Nikk Erotic Boudoir, and they said they recommended some things. Maybe we could try. Throw it off on us if you have to. We do not mind. So, again, thank you, Nikk, so much.
You're very welcome. It was a pleasure. Thank you so much for having me. And I'll gladly fall on the sword of accountability and responsibility for anyone that wants to pawn it off on me. This girl has said, do this. We're going to do it.
I love it. That's what I said. Yeah, hold us responsible. We don't care. Like, yeah, put it on us. So anyway, thank you so much.